What's going on? What's going on? It's your brother outside the Cuban. Yes, we are back. We are back again. Back again. Um, Tonight we got a special treat, courtesy of the brother Side Netter. Shouts out to the big bro Side Netter. He put on a debate with Doctor Enqi, and I put Doctor in quotes, scare quotes, if you will. Doctor Enqi versus the brother Jabari Osaze. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link for the entirety of the debate. If you would like to watch it without my commentary, there you go. It's in the chat. You can take a look at it and enjoy. But yeah. So we're gonna get right into it, and I haven't seen this debate. This is something that I'm watching with you guys. I've been working a little bit, well, not a little bit, a lot lately, so I've been kind of out of the loop. Grandmaster Chin Checker, what's going on, player? How you feeling? Hope everything is well. But yeah, we about to get right into it, and let's take a look at the flim man, as Unc would say, Dr. Enqi. Now, I will say this: I did have a brief conversation with the brother Pianki from Paradigm Shift 313, and we were having a conversation, and he was telling me because he paid to watch the debate, and he was basically saying that so the title of the debate is, as you can see right here on my screen, well, on your screen, it says Dr. Enqi versus Jabari Osaze. Is Christ a literal and historical character, and is Christ the world? I don't know what the hell that even fucking means. I don't know what that means, but like I said, I haven't seen this, but I was talking to the brother Bianchi, and he was kind of making allusions to that Enqi was going into totally other different things. I was rapping with my brother um, Heru, and he was kind of backing that up, saying that Enqi was all over the goddamn place. Essentially debating a different topic, which I hate when people do that because when you say Christ, we know exactly who you're talking about. So we're gonna get into it. I'll give my thoughts, ideas, and commentary on it. Let's go.
You could go one question Enqi, then one question Jabari, then back to Enqi, or you can.
Yeah, and I do have it sped up because this is 6 hours long. Obviously, we're not gonna get through this tonight. Um, I got a computer, a microphone, and some motherfucking time to kill. So let's go.
Let off all four of your questions, and then Jabari could go four questions. How y'all rather do it?
I like the alternating questions idea.
Okay, back and forth. That's cool.
I'm okay
All
with
right,
that.
and you have a minute and a half to answer the question. A minute and a half just to answer that question. Are there any questions, Jabari?
And just to clarify, we're talking about how many rounds?
We're talking about 3 rounds, and
3 30-minute rounds.
right, and that's it. And
3 30-minute rounds? See, that right there, ain't gonna lie. 3 30-minute rounds is a lot. That's 30 minutes of listening to pseudo intellectual garbage is a lot, but since I love y'all so much and you love me back by hitting that like button, I'll see how much of this we can get through. Okay?
before we start, Nepal, can you tell them what is the title of the debate if you remember offhand?
Sure, I can read it. Just give
Okay.
me 1 second. It is for the people, of course, or for everybody. It is Brother Jabari Osaze versus Minister Enqi. Is Christ a literal and historical character, and is he the Word of God?
All right, and there you go. That's it. I'm going to fall back. You got your first opening. I said 5 minutes, right?
5 minutes, brother.
5 minutes on your opening. Nepal, you got the time ready?
5-minute opening, 3 30-minute rounds, 10-minute closing, correct?
Yeah, but 5 minutes after each round where they get to rebut.
Got it. So it's actually 35 minutes total.
Yes.
Okay,
And
great.
so, Enqi, you go first. I want to get off the screen. How do I get off that screen, Nepal?
You stop talking. Let me see.
Yeah, when other people
Danny 56127325546. What's going on? Hey, appreciate you for coming through, checking this out. Let's go.
start talking, then that person that's talking goes onto the screen.
Okay, there you go.
So
Let's
if
go.
you put your mic on mute, then you won't be on the screen.
All right, and so without any further ado, brothers, let's have a clean debate. Remember the rules. I told you there's no ad hominems. There's no getting personal, because I don't want to take 5 minutes. Y'all need all the time y'all can
Now,
get.
hold on. What,
Yeah.
what you mean getting personal?
Meaning,
Hold on. What you mean, Affair? What do you mean, Enqi won? And don't be sorry about it, good brother. You ain't gotta be sorry about it. You do not have to be sorry about it. If you feel Enqi won, you can say Enqi won. Now you could be wrong, but you can say what you feel, brother. This is a space to where you can let that out, you know. But the polls say different, number one, but the polls are not always correct. But we do have to be honest with each other. If it is indeed a fact that Enqi was arguing something other than Jesus Christ, which that is the title, which you just heard Nepal say. And if I look right here, Dr. Enqi versus Jabari Osaze is Christ, and they're talking about Jesus Christ, Jesus the Christ, a literal and historical character, and is he the world? If Enqi wasn't talking about that, he was off topic, which means he loses automatically. So let's go through it. Peace, what's going? Oh, that's brother Heru. Oh, okay, yeah, I see your thing now. Oh, okay. What's up, bro?
Yeah, thank you. We're going to need
well,
clarification.
meaning you can't talk about the brother's business. You can't talk about families. You can't talk about him personally. Stuff
Okay,
like
that's
that.
fine.
Hold on. Why is Enqi acting like he doesn't know what a personal attack or an ad hominem is? Like, he's already setting up the flim, in my opinion. He's already setting up the BS. What do you mean? Well, what does that mean, Sa? Bro, you know what that means, bro. Stop it.
Yeah, in the same way with him. He can't talk about your business or you personally or nothing like that.
Okay, yeah, let's get it.
Are
So
they-
what if Enqi mentions that Jabari is a Kemetic priest? Is that
no,
an
he can mention that. No, ain't no problem.
Okay, great.
Not
It's
that I
clarifying.
know that.
Because he is a Kemetic priest.
And I want you to know I'm having a little technical issue here, so I'm going to be trying to clear it up. If I pop out, if I pop out, I will be back. I would rather you give me like 2 minutes to try to
Let's
resolve,
do that. Yes, you have as much time as you
because I
need.
would rather hear everything that Enqi is doing. For some reason, having a tech issue here, and I'm not sure why it's.
All right, let me try to fast forward through
Could
this.
The net give
Set your stuff up. You going first. This
That's
is
what's
the opening round. You're going to be opening up to the audience. Remember, it's just like a jury. They the jury. You're appealing to them. Y'all.
That's fine.
I don't want text. I do not come on. But the end, J2. Clutter you.
Snitching is a
Audience is waiting for this man. Let's
yeah, take long. I'm
Go
just
ahead, brother Jabari. I'm gonna see who's in the house.
Yeah.
Austin, we got keys to go and send the door.
gonna start with who is
Just let me know. You're ready now, Enqi. Enqi.
Okay, see, this is already a bad sign. This nigga has, in his PowerPoint, he has title. What the? Let's go. I'm not even gonna comment on that.
I'm gonna tell you when you're ready. You're ready now, Enqi. No,
okay.
honestly, in all seriousness, let me know when you have 5 minutes for your opening.
But hold on. Or fear. If you're saying Christ is not just Jesus, but if they're talking about Jesus Christ, what is your point? I don't get it. If they're talking about Jesus the Christ, he can't start talking about another Christ. Peace. What's going on, JJ? Peace to you, bro. I know we kind of fell out a little bit, but it's still peace to you, big bro. If the debate is about Jesus the Christ, then Enqi shouldn't be able to just go all over the place and just talk about any other Christ. So I think that is probably what's skewing your decision on saying that Enqi won. Because they're clearly talking about Jesus the Christ, bro. You know, we can't do that, bro. We have to be honest.
When you start talking, your time starts.
Hey, peace to you, JJ. I appreciate that. Water under the bridge, bro.
Judah
Water
Jeremiah L5E says. Water under the bridge Osh.
Appreciate that, bro. Water under the bridge, man. Appreciate that.
okay. Who is the utterance? So we're going to start with who is the utterance, who never. We're doing this for the Church of Winning for Christ. The main source of confusion with Christianity and its parent, Kemetic science, is the lack of scientific understanding of the text, biblical and Kemetic. You cannot understand the biblical or the Bible or Kemetic text without understanding the forces that create and sustain life.
Pause. Already I got a problem with that. You can understand the biblical text without understanding the forces that create, that he says create and sustain, because no one knows any of these forces that so-called create and sustain. You don't have, listen, number one, you don't have any evidence of a God actually existing. You don't have any evidence of that. So you can understand some writings without understanding who the person that is that wrote it. Like, stop it. You already messing up, bruh.
Life. Why do Kemetic scholars teach that the Neteru were universal forces without identifying those forces, leaving their students and themselves open to chakra foolishness and other foreign concepts? Jabari specifically is teaching that the Neteru were universal forces but not actual, meaning that they don't exist. Then
Okay, I'm sorry, I gotta stop it again. He's wrong again. He's wrong again. He says Jabari specifically is lost teaching that the Neteru were universal forces, but not actual. Okay, so if we take Amun Ra, right? Amun Ra is supposed to be the sun god. Now we know the sun is actual, and it's made up of hydrogen, helium, oxygen, carbon, and iron. That actually exists. So when they talk about Amun Ra, that is not the sun. That's what they ascribe their god to be. That's what they ascribe their god to be. But their god isn't helium. Their god isn't hydrogen. Their god isn't oxygen or carbon. Their god is the sun. So it's not those individual things. So he's already wrong. He's already wrong. The sun is actual. Hydrogen is actual. Oxygen is actual. But Amun Ra is not actual. That's something that they it's basically giving it another name for what a thing is. They're calling Amun Ra the sun. Those things are synonymous. Those things are synonymous. So no, Jabari would be correct. Like, this is crazy already.
at other times, he claims the opposite. We must also acknowledge the fact that Jabari is quoting and teaching Madame Blavatsky when he says that the Neteru are not literal and actual. That concept is
Madame Blavatsky. So did Kemet get that information from Madame Blavatsky, or did Madame Blavatsky get her information from Kemet? I'm sorry, I hate to keep pausing it like this, but when you have so much pseudo information coming at you so fast, pause, it's ridiculous, bro. What the fuck is he talking about? That Jabari is quoting and teaching Madame Blavatsky. What is you talking about, bruh?
a direct lesson pulled from Madame Blavatsky, not Kemetic texts. Chakras aren't even that important. We intend to prove that when a Nefer is the original Christ, when a Nefer existed, as do all the Nefer, the glyphs for Re are a standing wave and a resonant.
Okay, he's doing it right now. He's doing it. So he says Winnenefa is the original Christ. Nigga, this debate is not, is the original Christ a literal and historical character? Look, the debate is not, is the original Christ, Winnenefa, a literal and historical character? And is Winnenefa the world? No, they're talking about Jesus Christ. So he's already off topic. He's already off topic. Winnenefa is the original Christ. No, they're talking about Jesus Christ. So you're wrong already. You're wrong already. Right, he tried to pull a fast one.
Danny 56127 says, N.A. Enqi tried to pull a fast one and it did not work like it did on Enqi.
Yeah, this is crazy. This is ridiculous.
Wave cavity, vortex, as well as the standing wave being the word. Before you get confused, I will be using the Bible to specifically satisfy the debate victory requirements. Is Christ a literal and historical character, and is Christ the word? One of which we proved already. First, I need you to learn what the word.
Pause. Let's go back. Why did he leave out? Oh, hold on. Did Sinata spell this wrong? Is it the word or the world? Because Enqi has the word in his PowerPoint, but on the video it says the world. Maybe Sinata spelled it incorrectly, and it's supposed to be the word. Now, I wouldn't have added that shit if I was Jabari. Is Christ the world? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? Is Christ the world? That doesn't even make sense. But I don't know. That's kind of ridiculous. But let's go.
Christ the word. One of which we proved already. First, I need you to learn what the word is. The word is a standing wave. In history, in the glyphs, in our thoughts when we speak, when matter is formed, etc. A standing wave. Our ancestors knew this science and it was life. It was late. It was life for them and became religion later for us.
Pause. Our ancestors had no idea what waves, gluons, electrons, neutrons, protons, they had no idea what that was. And see, a lot of these people that try to reach into ancient spirituality, if you will, they love to go back and say, well, the ancients knew this or the ancients knew that. Okay, well, what was their methodology on how they attained this knowledge? How did they go about attaining the knowledge? Like I was talking to my brother Heru. He was saying, what instruments did they use to actually even see these things? Nigga, we can't even see half of this shit until we invented the fucking electron microscope. We couldn't see any of these things. So what are you talking about? That why can't we go back to ancient Kemet and see a fucking electron microscope? To where we can actually see these things that you're talking about. Like, this is ridiculous. What they're doing is post hoc rationalization. They're taking things that we know now and trying to transpose them onto what people thought in ancient times. This is ridiculous. It's crazy on every level. I understand you love black people, and I love black people probably more. But I'm never going to ascribe things to these people that they didn't know. Or didn't have access to, better yet. This is wild. And why does he not blow up his screen to make it bigger? Like, I don't understand these niggas.
Others.
Don't want to see that body. Don't want to see that body.
He thinks that he's going to prove that there is a literal named Christ that's not Jesus. We read the Kemetic text. When I tell you that Asar and Heru...
Hold on. Jabari is telling him right there. He thinks he's about to literally prove. He's talking... The debate is about Jesus. And he's talking about when Enqi is the original Christ. What are you talking about, bruh? And I promise you, I swear on everything, I've never seen this debate. In Enqi, out the gate, he's already trying to pull the wool over your heads. So the brother of fear, I don't know how you saying Enqi won when he's clearly not on topic right now. He's not.
Who are the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords? I'm telling you that the Kemetic text says so. And I believe literally, I feel an energy that is Heru. Not a physical person, but an energy. And I believe literally, I feel an energy that is...
Okay, cool. He can say that all he wants. He can say he feel the energy of his grandmother if she's passed away. I don't know, and I don't want to kind of speak that into existence. He can say I feel the energy of my great uncle or my great aunt. He can say that all the hell he wants. That doesn't mean he actually feels the energy and he can differentiate between the energy from his uncle, great uncle that passed away and my great uncle that passed away. He doesn't know the difference. No one can know. If I was sitting and I'm on a job and I'm like, woo, I kind of just felt like the spirit of, my great aunt. How can I differentiate that it's my great aunt and not someone's niece who passed away 2 days ago? How can you differentiate? Jabari doesn't know. He's religious. Okay, but that has nothing to do with this debate. What he's saying now has nothing to do with this debate. Enqi is reaching. Enqi at this point knows that he messed up. He shouldn't even be in this debate right now. But let's go. And I'm going to try to let it play out as much as I can, but there's so many problems over and over and over. Oh my God.
That is Heru. Not a physical person, but an energy. And that energy has assisted me. I would call that Heru.
Okay, so right here in the intro, we have Jabari identifying Heru and Osiris as the original Christ and also saying...
No, he just lied. He just lied. He said we got Jabari saying... Listen, bro, this dude just lied that fast. That fast. Listen to what Jabari said in one more time. Please listen. Put your listening ears on.
Energy has assisted me. I would call that Heru.
Okay, so right here in the intro, we have Jabari identifying Heru and Osiris as the original Christ.
When the fuck did Jabari say that this feeling that he feels, which is Heru, is the original Christ? When did those words come out of his mouth? When did those words come out of his mouth? This dude is lying to you, bruh. He's lying to you.
Ain't no fucking way, boy.
How did he just do that? How did he just do that fast and it was glossed over? People in the chat should have been taking him to task. Like, he didn't just say that. What are you talking about? He didn't just say that. Jabari was talking about some shit that he feels, that he ascribes that feeling to Heru. But if you were to actually question and really go at Jabari, he wouldn't be able to tell you what the fuck it was, because he wouldn't be able to differentiate any of that shit, whether it was a pigeon that died, a squirrel that died, or his grandmother. He wouldn't fucking know. How the fuck do you know the difference between life forces? You don't know. And then you... Yo, this is crazy. You can attack Jabari for that, but you can't just make up some shit that he just said when the video just played.
And also saying that Heru is literal because he feels him literally in actual real life. So
he didn't say that either. He didn't say that either. He said he calls that feeling Heru. He didn't say Heru was literal. He said he calls that feeling Heru. I'm sorry, I gotta play this one more time because this dude just lied. One more time, bro.
Are identifying
that is Heru, an energy, and I believe literally, I feel an energy that is Heru.
He says literally, I feel the energy. So he literally feels the energy.
Not a physical person, but an
not physical. He's telling you that Heru is not physical.
Energy. And that energy has assisted me. I would call that Heru.
He says he would call that physical energy that he feels, he would call that Heru. He says that physical energy that he feels, he would call that Heru. No different than how I broke down earlier that the sun is not it's not Amun-Ra. The hydrogen, when it comes together with the helium and the carbon and the oxygen, then it becomes Amun-Ra. But just the helium by itself isn't Amun-Ra. Like, get out of here, bro. Like, yo, so you mean to tell me 2 minutes into his whole shit, he's just lying all over the place, making up stuff. And see, it's impossible to debate people like this because you would just be writing down. That would be... Think about how many times I had to stop this to correct this dude and point out his lies. When you're actively debating somebody, it's so hard to keep track of all of these goddamn lies. You can't stop and pause like I can. This is going to be a long one, y'all. Good God.
Okay, so right here in the intro, we have Jabari identifying Heru and Osiris as the original Christ, and also saying that Heru is literal because he feels him literally in actual real life. So in the intro, I think we might have already finished the debate. I think we might have already finished the debate in the intro. But we'll recap because we have some more time.
Y'all want to see that body?
He thinks that he's going to prove that there was a literal named Christ that's not Jesus. We read the Kemetic text. When I tell you that Asar and Heru are the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, I'm telling you that the Kemetic text says so.
See, that's the best source. Jabari's the source for quite a bit of my argument. Jabari can't argue against Jabari.
And I believe literally, I feel an energy that is Heru. Not a physical person.
My yesterday or tomorrow, I place the trend, follow from the home of the Apollo.
Thank you so much, Enqi, for that opening. Now we would
I thought you was gonna give me the 1 minute warning.
You needed the 1 minute warning for your 5 minute. Okay, next time I will give you that for sure. All right, so thank you so much, Enqi.
That was awful in every sense of the word. That was awful in every sense of the word, yo. That was awful in every sense of the word. 240 Gray says, after all these years, nothing has changed about Enqi. He's still a disingenuous person. He likes to have those "I got you" moments like a big kid in the classroom. Right. Like he suffers from main character syndrome. Like how did he listen to the video of what Jabari said, saying that he feels be right back. Okay, all right, we'll be here, Rock. How can he listen to the video clip of Jabari saying he feels an energy? The shit that give you goosebumps or whatever it is, he feels that energy, and then he ascribes that feeling to Heru. He's telling you that the feeling is literal. Yo, this dude is wild.
Thank you for that.
Papa, if you like, he could take another minute.
It's I don't know.
Wow.
I think
No. Go ahead,
Like,
Jabari. Do you think?
another minute.
so graceful.
It's
so
very generous of you. That's very
so
generous.
and so
I'm a gentleman. I'm a gentleman.
very much out of you. Okay, however, everyone, we got to stay fair. So let's get our brother Jabari in to do his 5-minute intro. Do you need me to let you know that you have 1 minute left, or you just can go?
No, I do not. I'm going to actually also keep my own time. That's usually what I do. Just to, I can glance down and see what the time is. On the larger debate issues, it may be helpful, but not for the 5-minute section.
Exactly. So when you start speaking, your time begins.
Okay. Could you go ahead and share my screen?
Yes, sir. There it is. I believe you can see. Is the biblical Jesus Christ a historical character?
Yes.
All right.
Now, family, I want to be really clear that I knew that Enqi was going to try to do this. Notice that the topic, even if he wants to say that we're talking about Christ, notice he's not talking about Christ. Notice very carefully that he is going to continue to be the remarkably unsourced Enqi. That is what I call him, and you're going to see that that's what he's going to do. But right out front, I want you to hear him answer about what we are debating about.
Yo, you guys can't see it, but I'm looking at the chat replay on the screen, and people in the chat are already taking him to task. They're saying Enqi is bodied already. Why did he try to lie about the title? Damn, Enqi started off topic. Like at least people are seeing what I'm seeing. They're not calling out the stuff that I called out, but at least they're at least acknowledging that he's off topic. This nigga talk about winning Nefer and bro, like no, I'm surprised nobody called out how he totally took Jabari's words, mangled them, and said something that the brother didn't even say. That's crazy.
I want you to hear him answer this. Take a listen. To flim flam, because he's going to prove that Christ is a literal historical character and that Jesus is the word. If he thinks he's going to do that and I knew he was going to try to do that, by the way. We argued for a long time about the name Jesus or Christ. We argued about it. But on this very video, he said to Sonnetter that when he says Christ, he means Jesus. Does he not know that I have that clipped and ready? What do you think that I do? Have you not?
Have
you not watched any of my debates?
Let me ask you a question.
Enqi, no, Enqi, you are not going to speak now. You don't even have the right to speak after playing a music video, a poorly crafted music video. Now I want you to listen to Enqi acknowledge what we are debating about. I told you I knew he was going to do this.
So this makes sense. That's why he didn't want to use Jesus. Because, see, it'll be difficult for him to talk about Jesus in front of fucking Home Depot. He couldn't use that. But with Christ, he could kind of finagle and move that shit around and talk about Karast and all of that type of bullshit and win an effort being the original Christ. But if you talk about Jesus, nigga, we know who we talk about. So that's why Jabari is saying what he's saying, that they were arguing so much about the title of it to put, Jabari wanted to put Jesus, he wanted to put Christ so he could do exactly what he's doing right now. Damn.
By the way, all of the Hebrews, all of the Christians that came here to see your champion, yes, you were describing him like a champion just a few weeks ago, just a few days ago, just a few hours ago, came to see him give you authentic proof of the historicity of Jesus. I want you to know that he is failing you. Take a listen to him explain what the debate is really about.
All right, I got to ask this question, Dr. Enqi. This is very important because we don't want this to go into no sabotage scholarship or sabotage debate. Now, I need to ask you, Dr. Enqi, the Christ that you're talking about is the Christ of the Bible, yes?
Of course.
Okay, that's all I wanted to make clear, because some people...
So hold on. So Sonnetter clarified it, and he said, of course, I'm talking about the Christ of the Bible. But according to his PowerPoint, it's not talking about Christ of the Bible. But, let's let it play out and see where it goes. Bullshit, but let's see where it goes.
who try to say, well, there was a man by the name of Christ. You know what I'm saying, Jabari? That lived, that was historical. So we want to just clear that up right now. We got the information, the clarity. Go ahead, Dr. Enqi.
So I want you to understand that Enqi thinks that he is going to play.
And let me say this. Shouts out to Sa for the moderation, because I didn't think that he was actually moderating. But shouts out to Sinetta for clearing that shit up. Like, hold on. We're talking about the Christ of the Bible, which would be Jesus Christ. So shouts out for Sa for paying the fuck attention and saying, yo, we're talking about the Christ of the Bible. Don't try to do no flim flam shit. But according to all accounts, he still went with the flim flam shit.
Harlem's famous 3-card Monte game, and y'all aren't going to see what he's doing. You followed the cards. You know where the ace is at. Don't let him try to confuse you about what this debate is supposed to be about. It ain't about Hunefer. It ain't about Kemetic text. It's about the Christ of the Bible. Show me where Hunefer is in the Bible. So what is this debate about? This debate is about the biblical Jesus. Definitely not about Jesus stripped of miracles. This is a historical debate. It's not based on anyone's faith. By the way, Enqi's going to continue to try to insult my Kemetic tradition, and he thinks that I'm going to get upset or I'm going to jump out the window. Folks, you know me well enough. That's not going to happen.
Oh, so you saying that Sa didn't interrupt in the debate? That was from Jabari playing something from a weigh-in? Okay. Yeah. See, well, if that's the case, then what Sa should have done, he should have moderated. Like, listen, this is a $30 fucking debate, bro. Sa should have stepped in and should have been like, yo, Enqi, you said it in the face-off, in the weigh-in, that you was talking about Jesus. Why the fuck are you talking about winning effort? You know, I know it's difficult, but bro, if we're debating something and this is a $30 pay-per-view fucking debate, $30. Most niggas don't, excuse me, not most. The overwhelming majority of people that live in America, in the world, don't make fucking $30 an hour. And I just wasted $30 on this shit and this nigga's flim-flamming like that? No. Sa needs to step in and be like, bro, you said we were supposed to be talking about the Christ of the Bible. Why are you talking about winning effort? He should step into that shit and be like, come on, bro. Like, what are you doing? He doesn't have to stop him every 5 minutes and say, bro, you off topic, bro, you off topic. But that shit needs to be said in the debate. It shouldn't take Jabari to play a video of the weigh-in of him saying, we're talking about the Jesus of the Christ. I mean, the Jesus of the Bible, the Christ of the Bible. Nah, bro. Sa, you got to step the fuck in and moderate this shit, bro. You got to pay attention to these fucking debates, bro. Because this is a $30 fucking debate. Like, this is your brand, bro. You can't have this nigga Enqi doing this shit. JJ says Sa is too dumb to step in. Nah, I think he probably just kind of just said, I'm going to let them do their debate. And I understand that he wants to let them do their debate. But nah, bro, this is a $30 fucking debate, bro. This is a $30 debate. And niggas reached into their fucking pocket and their wallets and pocketbooks and gave that money up. You can't allow this shit to fucking happen on your platform, bro. And, you know, I got much respect and love for the brother. But, hey, that shit is real, my nigga. That shit is fucking real. Don't have me paying for no $30 debate. And this is the bullshit that's being put on, that niggas is arguing two different things. Jabari is talking about the Christ of the Bible. This nigga's talking about Karast and fucking winning effort. Stop that shit. Put a stop to that shit, son. Come on now.
He even tried to say something in his own. That's just not going to happen. He can waste his time, his very valuable time doing that. It's not going to be a problem. It must be judged on the logical use of verifiable sources. There is a complete scarcity of quality sources. We will dispense with misconceptions based on focusing entirely on the Bible. We will make the point that the story of Jesus is an echo of ancient African traditions. It was remixed by foreigners according to their worldview and social mores. If this is a story that is remixed according to someone's social mores, we're not talking about a historical figure. That's what Enqi is supposed to be debating about. I just want you to know, I'm going to stay faithful to the topic of the debate. And I think you know by the opening, you should not expect Enqi to do the same. And that's fine, because I didn't know he was going to get sources anyway.
And that's crazy, because Jabari is making it clear to the audience that this dude is not on topic. He's not on topic. Like, this should be key. Maybe Sa don't have to step in now. He can wait till, you know, Jabari is done and say, hey, bruh, you have to get on topic, bruh, because you're not talking about what he's talking about. You're not talking about what we already agreed on. Like, come on, man. There has to be some kind of moderation. I'm not saying to chastise people like they're a fucking child, but come on, bro.
Anyway, so please, let's proceed. I'm going to have a good time here, and I'm sure even you at home are going to enjoy this as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Brother Jabari. Time. I do want to double check. We had some of the chat saying they think that your slides weren't moving, but I think you stayed on one on purpose. Just that first slide. You were okay. Great. Just
That's
double
correct.
check. Perfect.
Yeah, I said some things. I played 2 videos, and I showed the slide. Trust me, there's more to come, folks.
Yes, much more to come. In fact, with that said, let's get started right away and go into our very first round. Now, the first round is going to be Enqi, correct? Dr. Enqi is going to come in. Enqi, you have a 30-minute round right now.
So really quick, I'm looking at the chat replay, and you see Enqi in the chat on Sanetta's video says, "Okay, I'm out." Like he doesn't even want to listen to the shit anymore. Nigga, you the nigga that did the flim flam shit.
Now, you don't have anything to rebut.
I know,
correct?
the rebuttal comes at the end.
Perfect. Yes. Thank you so much. And
Hey, shouts out 240 Gray, and you say great points being made. Listen, bro, I'm being objective about this shit. If I hear Jabari say something crazy that I disagree with or that I can correct, then I will. Like, you know, I'm objective, bro. I'm unbiased in this situation because I don't fuck with the Kemet shit, and I definitely don't rock with the Bible, Jesus Christ stuff either. You know, I'm an atheist, and people know that. So let's go.
And so when you start speaking, your time will begin, but I will let you know that I will come in a minute before and say you have 1 minute left just to give you that time.
Come in at 5 minutes before, since we're doing 30-minute rounds.
Yes, sir. Por supuesto. Of course. All right. When you're
Tú hablas español.
Okay. Sí. Sí.
Okay.
Listo para tisto. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, when you start speaking, your time begins. I will come in at 25 minutes and let you know you have 5 minutes left. Go ahead.
All right. So right out the gate, we can see that Jabari is lying and looking to manipulate the audience. Nepal has read the title of the
What the fuck did Jabari lie about? You know, I gotta stop pausing it like that. But damn, what did he lie about?
debate. And biblical, the word biblical is not in the title of the debate, nor is the name Jesus in the title of the debate.
No, he's not doing that already. He's saying biblical is not in the debate. But when Jabari just played it, even Sanetta was like, bro, we are talking about Jesus from the Bible, right? He says, absolutely. So the title is a description of the debate. It's not the actual debate. It's the description of the debate. You can't fit every single solitary word of what they're going to be debating in a fucking YouTube title. Yo, what is you doing? See, biblical isn't in the title, so that means you could just go off and talk about Karast? See, biblical isn't in the title, so you could just talk about Winnenefa? Like, what is he doing?
So Jabari is already looking to mislead you, which means Jabari has already lost this debate. But I'm going to get to the science, and we'll come back. So I want y'all to first pay attention to what you see on the screen. You see 2 different hieroglyphs here, both of them for Re. What I want to establish in the first round is the science associated with Re and how advanced our ancestors in Kemet actually were, so we can identify these forces and demonstrate that these forces still exist today.
My yesterday or tomorrow, I place the trend, follow from the home of the Apollo.
Bro, he's trying to give niggas copyright strikes so niggas won't play the video again. That's what he's trying to do. Enqi, stop it, man. Stop playing that fucking copywritten music.
I spit and you swallow, I'm here.
Electron, we see that they don't behave like particles, but act more like waves. And it was this wave model that allowed us to really understand what was going on at this classical level of a Bohr atom. And so we realized that electrons could be here, or here, or here, but they didn't exist in the middle. And that was...
So hold on. So the title of this slide is Theophila Banga says atomic theory comes from Kemet, but he has some white dude talking about it. Why don't you play Theophila Banga saying that? Hey, maybe he'll get to that. Maybe he'll get to it.
Puzzling to scientists. Also, why is it when an electron falls down, it emits a photon of light, a certain amount of energy?
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked
Taking good
that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology. Talking hieroglyph.
Well, the wave model unlocked that.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk
I just want you
biology.
to take
Talking
notes,
hieroglyph.
Because we've really got a good understanding of how waves work. So if we have waves moving back and forth, they create something called a standing wave.
Know the metal nature, but you flunk biology.
Hiruamun says. Would you pay to watch Enqi debate?
Enqi's debates aren't worth a fucking wet food stamp. I would never pay to watch fucking Enqi debate. If I can't watch it for free, nobody hosting a debate with Enqi can ever get any of my fucking money. Ain't no goddamn way. Ain't no goddamn way I would ever put a wet cigarette up to watch a fucking Enqi debate. This dude is trash. This dude is absolute fucking trash. 240 Gray says, Sash should have stopped that show. It was aggravating. He allowed that bull crap to go on. Everybody knew Enqi was off topic. You were right on that one. People pay money. Yeah, bro, it's like, come on, man. You got to step in. Now, even with him stepping in, if we're being honest, it's not going to make Enqi change because he already has his slides together. But what you can do is you can stop the nigga from doing debates on your channel, doing $30 fucking debates, number one. And number two, you can let the audience know that the nigga's full of shit. Like, this is pathetic. This is pathetic.
So if we have waves moving back and forth, they create something called a standing wave. So if we have waves moving back and forth, they create something called a standing wave. Of an electron, we see that they don't behave like particles, but act more like waves. And it was this wave model that allowed us to really understand what was going on at this classical level of a Bohr atom. And so we realized that electrons could be here, or here, or here, but they didn't exist in the middle, and that was puzzling to scientists. Also, why is it when an electron falls down, it emits a photon of light, a certain amount of energy? Well, the wave model unlocked that, because we've really got a good understanding of how waves work. So if we have waves moving back and forth, they create something called a standing wave. And so what scientists started to hypothesize is maybe the electrons, as they're moving around, are interfering with themselves. They're going so fast that they're interfering with the electrons as they come around again. And so maybe they're wrapping around and creating standing waves. And so areas out here, we could get a standing wave.
You see what a standing wave looks like?
Where the electron moving around the outside of the atom.
Hold on. Why is he not explaining how, explaining the correlation of a standing wave to Christ being literal and historical? What does this have to do with Christ being literal and historical in a historical character? A standing wave. Maybe he's going to get to it, but what's going on here?
Is interfering with the electron itself. And so what you get are these standing waves.
But you flunk biology.
Standing waves that build up, and that's where that energy allows the electron to be there. But in
words are standing waves. Vocal tract resonance. The human vocal tract acts as a natural resonance cavity that filters the buzzy sounds produced by the vibrating vocal cords into specific shapes made by the tongue and lips, soft palate, creating standing waves. Acoustic environments, in an enclosed space like a room, sound waves, speech reflects off the walls, the room dimensions match the wavelength of certain frequencies of sound. Standing waves can be set up. Musical instruments rely on creating standing waves within air columns or on a string to produce sustained notes. Okay, so I'm explaining to you the science of what a word is. I'm demonstrating it to you from a collegiate level, a scholarly level, and showing you our ancestors knew that and captured that in the glyphs of Re, right? And then also here in Nefer. Nefer is very important because you'll see that this is a part of the name for Osiris. But Nefer encapsulates the source of standing waves, which is where the all of creation is supposed to emanate from. This is why we have Ptah and Memphis, the heart and the tongue, because between the heart and the tongue is where standing waves are created. Also, the brain.
What the fuck is he talking about? Okay, is he going a huge roundabout way to try to explain sound? Like, what are you talking about, bro? He's going out of his way to explain sound. What the fuck does this have to do with Christ, the Christ of the Bible being a literal and historical character?
The brain completely relies on traveling waves and standing waves. So not only do we have the words being formulated as standing waves, but we also have thought integration throughout the neural networks as standing waves. Brain function, integration and coherence. Standing waves are important for binding different areas of information together and overall coordinated coherent activity in normal brain function. Resonant phenomena. Studies suggest that the brain works like a resonance chamber, right? So I want you to understand, once again, what a standing wave is and what the word is and why Re, the hieroglyph for Re, is a standing wave and a resonant standing wave cavity. The sun functions via standing waves. This is another reason that Ray is associated with the sun, because the sun is a large resonant cavity for standing waves. The sun functions as a vast resonant chamber of standing waves, specifically acoustic pressure waves, the foundation of the scientific field of helioseismology. Okay, so everybody at home, you should be taking notes. You should be proud that I'm showing you the science of modern day was captured by your ancestors 5,000 years ago and preserved for you up to today. So hopefully y'all get it. Our ancestors were telling you about the nature of the universe. The nature of the universe is waves, electromagnetic waves and mechanical waves via traveling waves and standing waves. Standing waves being the focus of matter and life. Kemetic scholars don't understand this part of Kemet, like Jabari. They would tell you all day that the Neter stood for natural forces, but they will never explain to you exactly which natural forces they are talking about. The word is the fundamental standing wave. This right here is the glyph for mouth, which formulates words via standing waves. It is also, when you put the determinative under it, a glyph for ray, the standing wave. Denied. The original word that became flesh. Actual.
Are not literal. That is what I'm saying. They're not literal and actual.
Now, here's a problem. Here's another problem with Jabari saying that the Neteru are not actual. The name Winnenefer means to exist. So if we're looking at the Kemetic text,
Hold on. Hold the fuck on.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
If the name Winnenefer means to exist, then Winnenefer isn't actually existence. And I think this is something that he's not grasping and he's not grappling with properly. Because something means something doesn't correlate to its actual existence. So you can say, oh, Heru is the fucking sun or the wind or whatever the fuck, but it's not actually that thing. Yo, this is stupidity on a whole nother motherfucking level.
The Kemetic text speaks specifically about existence. So when you start to say that the Neteru don't exist, you are not teaching the Kemetic text. That comes from another source altogether. And we will get there.
Neteru are not literal. That is what I'm saying. They're not literal and actual.
Can Jabari read the Medu Neter? I don't even care if he can. It doesn't.
No, hold on. Why did he speed past that? Jabari says that they're not actual. They're not. The Neteru are not actual. They don't actually fucking exist. They're not in nature. They don't exist. People ascribe these names to these things. They don't actually exist. They're not real. And he said as much.
Can Jabari read the Medu Neter? I don't even care if he can. It doesn't matter. What matters is, do the people reading the Medu Neter understand what they're actually looking at? Can a Kemetic priest say he is teaching the Kemetic text and say that Osiris does not exist when the name Winnenefer means to exist?
Yes, you can say they don't exist because it doesn't matter what something means. It doesn't matter what something means. It matters what actually exists. Fuck is you talking about? Can a Kemetic priest say he's teaching the Kemetic text and say Osiris does not exist? Yes, he can say that if he's being honest. If he or she is being honest, they'll say, yes, they don't actually exist. These are things that we ascribe to these feelings, to these to these natural things. They basically just gave these things names. Like, you ever had a nickname when you was a kid? Or in ancient African culture, in world culture, they would give people names and it would mean things. Like think about Native American culture. They would give people names like Great Bear or Sitting Bull or Running Water or whatever the fuck. It doesn't mean that they were actually those things. If a Native American named his or her child Sitting Bull, it doesn't mean that they were actually a fucking bull. You idiot. So yes, so change that around and say, can a Native American say he's teaching Native American culture and say Native American names don't exist? No, they fucking don't. Their children that they give these names to, they give them because when they see their children, they may have an aspect. Oh, they're strong, so they call them a bull. They're sneaky, so they call them a snake. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Yes, Jabari can say that. We do that right now today, but we use it through colloquialisms. We'll say, oh man, that's a snake ass nigga. Oh man, that's a bitch ass nigga. What do we talk about when we say the word bitch? We know what we mean. Like, come on, bruh.
Don't want to see that body.
See, Jabari had y'all led to believe that I was going to come here with no sources. But when we go to the TLA, which is a primary source amongst Kemetic scholars, it says clearly, when an effort to exist. This is very important as we continue to move through this conversation. I promise you, you should take notes at home. We just wanted to blow it up on the big screen so you can see it. When he says that the Neteru do not exist, that does not come from the primary text.
Bro, that's a definition of a word. That's not the actual God or whatever the fuck win an effort. That's a definition of a word when it means to exist. Like, what the hell is this dude talking about? Is he for real? Is this dude for real right now? Well, see, the word means to exist, so win an effort must have existed. What is he talking about?
Let's go to Hatshepsut at Karnak. What does this say? It says that all of this really happened. And you can see in the glyph what is used. You can see in the glyphs what is used in the translation. All this really happened. This is very important as we move through this, because I want y'all to understand this is not just a historical conversation, but a scientific one. Theophile Obenga says atomic theory comes from Kemet. Let's go to the text. Who then is he? Osiris it is.
Denied.
Otherwise it says his name. Clearly on the second line you see here, it is Ra. It is of Ra when he uniteth with him. So now we're talking about Ra uniting with Osiris. Oh, y'all can't even see my finger point. My finger's pointing on the screen. Ra unites with Osiris. This is important because I know y'all are saying, well, why are we looking at hieroglyphs for Ra? Because we're...
No, what we're saying is, why the fuck are we looking at hieroglyphs when you're supposed to be talking about Jesus being a literal and historical fucking character? That's what we're actually saying. And why do you have underline? Why do you underline the first the first sentence, but not the second, which you're actually reading from? Shit don't make sense.
We're establishing something that you'll see come to fruition in the later rounds in the later discourse. For now, just know Osiris, when a Nefer, means to exist. Also know that we're talking about science. I didn't give you a generic term and say natural forces. I'm pinpointing based on the actual text, the hieroglyphs of Re, a standing wave and a resonant wave cavity. Now, if you only study the Medu Neter language and you don't actually study science, you could look at a standing wave for 20 or 30 years, like some of you people at home have already done, and never recognize that it is the standard hieroglyph for Re. You could look at it and never know that the sun is a resonant wave cavity for standing waves. So again, we have Osiris, right? The original gleam in his father's eye, right? Now we go here, we have the interaction between standing waves and vortices, right? Which again speaks to the relationship of the two glyphs used for Re. I want y'all to follow along with this now. I know this sciencey part gets a little complicated. It gets a little complicated, but I want y'all to be able to follow along with this. Energy creates matter using two standard geometries, a standing wave and a vortex. A vortex dissipates energy. A standing wave allows it to collect. This is very important as we understand that all matter comes from a standing wave. So when our ancestors were saying that the world was created by the word, they were telling you that the world around you is created by the standing wave. And modern science agrees. Modern science tells you that.
Okay, so if you're going to make these claims saying that this is what the word is, you have to prove that. And this information, this shit that you're showing, does not prove that there was anything that spoke a word or did anything with these waves to create it. But that's besides the point. This shit has nothing to fuck to do with, is Christ a literal and historical character? Nor does it even begin to broach the fucking topic of Christ being the fucking word. None whatsoever.
The periodic table is made out of standing waves. Your ancestors told you that the world was created from standing waves. The Bible then tells you the world was created from the word. The word is a standing wave. If we apply the science, our ancestors were leaving us a treasure trove of truth, intellectual property that we could stand on today and build with. But the problem is when non-scientific people look at science, they don't know what they're looking at. That's why we have people in the House of Consciousness today telling you that Africans did not have science.
Okay, so he's saying that the people that wrote the Bible, who were these ignorant fucking savages who thought that they could fucking grape women and all of this other shit, and they never moved the muscle until God told them to do something, they understood this shit? No, the fuck they did not. They did not. There's so many fucking errors in the fucking Bible. They did not know any of this shit, bruh. They ascribe the word to how everything came about, but that's bullshit. That's bullshit, bruh. Listen, when you make these type of claims, you have to go to the fucking beginning and or the fucking precipice, and you have to prove a God. You have to do that. You can't just say, well, the wave did this and it does that. Okay, well, waves do these things. But what you have to do first is you have to prove that there was some kind of fucking God that actually caused these things to happen. You have to prove that first. You can't just willy-nilly throw these shits out. Prove the God first, and then show how this God created these fucking waves to then create every fucking thing that we see in existence right now. You have not done it. You cannot do it. And no one in time immemorial has ever fucking done it. So I would never sit here listening to fucking Dr. Enqi when no one has ever been able to fucking do it and think that he can fucking do it.
There's no such thing as African science. They don't know what they're looking at. They don't know what they're looking at. Energy transfer. Energy transfers between standing waves and vortexes. Standing waves build, a vortex distribute. What do we have as a vortex that you can see? A tornado, a whirlwind, the drain in your tub going down, the clouds when the weather's forming. Everywhere these patterns exist. Spirals, golden mean ratio. Everywhere these patterns exist.
So sound has an effect on material forces. Whoop-de-fucking-do. What are you actually saying? Sound has an effect on material things. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Get to the fucking metaphysical shit and prove that. We know about the physical. Show us the metaphysical shit that you're talking about. Because when we peel back your shit like an onion, it's gonna go into some metaphysical bullshit. Get to that point and then tell us how that thing, that metaphysical thing, then begin to affect the physical. He's never gonna do that. He's just gonna throw out all of this bullshit.
The word is the form energy takes as described by Kemetic text. Is Christ the word? So I want y'all to pay attention. Jabari has blanked off his screen so that he could take notes because he realizes that things have just shifted. The only thing that can exist in a pure vacuum and create is light, traveling waves. I want y'all to understand this. When we talk about first causes of matter, first causes of life, first causes of anything, the only thing that can exist in a vacuum, in nothingness, is light. The Bible tells us God is light, and it tells us Jesus.
Okay, so now you just ran into another whole fucking problem. You just put your fucking head in the goddamn buzzsaw. Okay, the only thing that can exist in a pure vacuum is light. Okay, well, does that light have any fucking control? No, it doesn't. Light has no fucking control, but then what you're then asking us to understand and agree with is that something created this fucking light and also the vacuum that it's in. Like, what the hell is he even talking about? He's just mixing and fucking up all of this shit. Well, light can exist in a pure vacuum. Okay, cool. Cool story, bro. Thanks for telling us that. Now what? So God, this God you believe in, created the vacuum and it created the fucking light that's in the fucking vacuum? Okay, cool. Well, how did God control the fucking light in the vacuum when that's not something that can even be controlled? This is retard. No, this is not even retardation. This is a person that's attempting to throw a bunch of bullshit out there, obfuscate the fucking facts to try to win a debate. And he's not even on topic still.
Jesus is the light of the world. We also have the Kemetic text establishing that Heru is light. We also have that the Kemetic text I just showed you of Osiris combining with Ra, Re, who is also a light body, a light being, or the sun that gives light to the world. So I just want to keep this running theme coming together because this new information, it might be hard for y'all to wrestle with coming in all at once, but it's okay. We're going to continue to drip sources on you. We're going to continue to drip information on you so that you get this, because I want y'all to learn today. Traveling waves, God is light. Traveling waves create matter, and standing waves are the words from the mouth of God. God is light in both the biblical text.
No. Back that up. Traveling waves do not fucking create matter. You're wrong about that. You're wrong about that, bro. Traveling waves do not fucking create matter. Standing waves are the words. Like, look at this garbage that he's just attempting to meld together. Traveling waves. God is light. So now he's taken God out of from this being that controls everything, and he's put God as the light in this fucking vacuum, when we understand that when something is in the vacuum, it doesn't have any fucking control. And then he goes on to say, traveling waves create matter as standing waves, which is fucking completely goddamn wrong. Standing waves are the words, you fucking idiot. A standing wave is a pattern that appears stationary from when two identical waves traveling in opposite directions interfere. That's all the fuck it is. It's nothing more. It's nothing more than that, bro. He's trying to make it seem like it's some other shit. He reached into his fucking pseudo bag, pulled some bullshit out, and thought that he would confuse the niggas. No, it's nothing more than that. Then he goes on to say that these same standing waves are the words. So how the fuck if God is light, how the fuck did God get out of this fucking vacuum? How did God get out of this vacuum, and then on top of that, the standing waves are the fucking word? Please explain this, bro. But he won't. Explain this shit. Standing waves are the words from the mouth of God. Now, I won't even be pedantic and get on him about having a mouth, but when did sound become eligible in a fucking vacuum? When did that happen? When did that happen? He's talking about sound waves, but then he's also talking about a vacuum, which there's no sound in. But these sound waves are supposed to be the words from... Bro, stop. Please stop. Oh, good God, he be getting y'all niggas on this garbage.
Standing waves are the words from the mouth of God. God is light in both the biblical text and the Kemetic text. So is
Good
Christ.
God.
Now, y'all remember this from the last debate. This is what I was explaining to y'all in the last debate. This is what I was explaining to y'all in the last debate with quantum field theory. The emergence from the quantum soup.
Hold on, man. I just got to say this again because this is bothering me, bro. This dummy... I'm sorry. I can't let him get that off, bro. This dummy thinks that there's sound in a fucking vacuum. He really thinks that there's sound in a vacuum. Nigga, there's no fuck... Let me take it down a peg. There's no sound in a vacuum, bro. So how did this sound and or this light that you're talking about escape the vacuum? How did the light escape the vacuum, and then this light created sound that was in the vacuum and it also got out to then create matter to then impress itself upon the world as we see today in our universe? Stop fucking playing with us, bro. Stop playing with us, bro. Please stop playing with us. There is no sound in the fucking vacuum, bro. What is he talking about? I'm sorry, bro. This is crazy. This is insane.
Standing waves are the words from the mouth of God. God is light in both the biblical text and the Kemetic text. So is Christ. Now, y'all remember this from the last debate. This is what I was explaining to y'all in the last debate. Y'all remember both the biblical text and
Hold on, did he just say God is light in both the biblical text and comedic text? Why won't he show us a scripture? Why won't he show us a scripture pointing that fact out? If it is indeed a fact. Where does it say God is light? Didn't it say God created light? Didn't it say God created all of this other shit? Why would God also be the thing that he created? That doesn't make sense. That makes no sense whatsoever. Yo, this dude is wild. Listen, man, I'm sorry for keep pausing, but man, this is so horrible. This is so bad.
the comedic text. So is Christ. Now, y'all remember this from the last debate. This is what I was explaining to y'all in the last debate. This is what I was explaining to y'all in the last debate with quantum field theory. The emergence from the quantum soup. Your ancestors were explaining that. They already had the parts and their interactions. That's called the scientific mechanism.
Bullshit. The ancients had no fucking... We're talking about people who used to take shits outside in holes that they would dig up, and they understood quantum field theory. Knock it the fuck off. You playing games with us, bro. You are seriously playing games with us right now. You are seriously playing games with us. Now, I'll be upfront with you. I don't have a great understanding of quantum field theory, but neither will I take a fucking bullshit lesson from a scammer like Dr. Enqi about quantum field theory. Fuck no. When he's been incorrect about every single solitary thing that he's produced up until this point. Fuck no.
Originated a scientific mechanism. We originated that and communicated that through the stories of the Neteru. Very important for you to understand this concept. The Kamenu described the mechanisms, parts, and interactions of the parts of the quantum world. Waves of potential. Very important that we understand that the Kamenu represented waves of potential, which is why we have Nun. And when we come to standing waves, we're talking about waves that are going to precipitate. Now, back to the original utterance. In the Kemetic text, they didn't say word. They didn't use English. In the Old Testament, they didn't use English either. When we go to the Kemetic text, the word is who. It is also infinity. It is also, right? So
the word is infinity? So hold on. We got to back that up. The word is infinity. You do understand, my dear brother, infinity doesn't have a beginning nor an end. Real quick, good brother, infinity doesn't have a beginning nor an end. It's essentially eternal. So how the fuck can something utter something into infinity? This is mind numbing, if we're being honest. This is mind fucking numbing.
So we see that in the Kamenu. It is English either. When we go to the Kemetic text, the word is who. It is also infinity. It is also, right? So we see that in the Kamenu. It is also infinity, right? It is the utterance. It is the word of creation.
This is so bad. This is so bad. I think like maybe a 10th or 11th grader would be able to look at this shit and suss out the bullshit. How can you utter something that's infinitum? That doesn't even compute to a person with a brain. How can you utter something and it's now infinity? That doesn't even compute. If something is infinity, it doesn't have a beginning or a fucking end. Good God.
This is very important. Now, when we go to the Oxford dictionaries, you see the word utterance there. The definition is a spoken word. Very important to put these things in your back pocket. Jabari will try to bend words, even lie outright to you like he did to you about the topic of this discussion. The debate is not about biblical Jesus. Let's go back to some more text.
Hold on. Did he just say that this debate is not about the biblical Jesus? Let's rewind that.
The debate is not about biblical Jesus.
Huh?
Lie outright to you like he did to you about the topic of this discussion. The debate is not about biblical Jesus.
God damn. Hold on, one more time. He didn't just say that, did he?
He did to you about the topic of this discussion. The debate is not about biblical Jesus.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going on a trip in our favorite rocket ship, zooming through the sky. Little Einstein.
Yo, this dude is out of his mind. Jabari played a clip talking about, and even Sinetta came in and was like, yo, you are talking about the biblical Jesus Christ, right? He was like, absolutely. Absolutely. So now it's not about the biblical Jesus? Yo, this is pathetic. This is awful, bro. At that moment right there, the brother Sa should have stepped in and said, yo, let me pause your time real quick, bro. How is this not about the biblical Jesus when you already agreed to it? I asked you about it, and you agreed to it. Jabari agreed to it, and now you're saying that it's not? What the fuck is going on? What type of garbage is this?
Let's go back to some more text. When we go to the 8th hour, we see Heru here described as the original utterance. So again, we now have Heru as the original word. What is utterance? A spoken word, or a statement, or a vocal sound, which all three come from scientifically what's known as a standing wave. I want y'all to be clear on what you're seeing right here. We're going to the source material. So if he keeps saying remarkable source list, Enqi say, no. Enqi pulled up the Amduai. Enqi pulled up the TLA. Enqi pulled up Oxford. Right? So we have utterance. We go to the etymology. The etymology for the word utterance in Christian theology, the etymology for the word in Christian theology means utterance. So I want you to get a good look at that on your screen. In the Bible. So you say, oh no, he's not speaking about the Bible. In the Bible, when they say the word, that word means utterance. So again, I showed you here, and I showed you the definition, that word.
So in the Bible, when they say the word, they don't actually mean the word. Weren't you the same one that was just talking about meanings and things of that sort? But now when the Bible says the word, that's not what it actually means? Yo, this is crazy, bro. This is fucking crazy. This is crazy.
It means utterance, and then from utterance, I showed you in the Kemetic text what utterance means.
Enqi,
Really,
I
nigga?
time. Are you changing your screen because it's still on the menu and people are asking? Are you changing your slides?
Yeah, I've changed mad slides.
No, you're stuck on just that one where it says Camino describes mechanism.
Oh, I gotta go back my time.
Well, I paused your time.
You paused my time just now, but that
Well, you were still speaking information. I mean,
right, but people couldn't see it.
Okay, so I don't know about giving you extra time for that. It's your tech thing, not mine. So
it's not my tech thing. The Zoom just glitched.
The Zoom glitched.
No. We'll give you 3 minutes. We'll give you 3 more minutes to go back over it. But that is your fault, Enqi, not the Zoom, brother. It's
okay, look, is my screen showing right now? Different screen?
Yes, it is. Yes. Can it move? Let me see it move.
I'm moving it. It's not moving.
It's not moving. See, that's your stuff.
That's your thing going on over there.
Your screen
it's not us. And we told you about.
Wait, hold on. Your screen is not in slideshow mode.
Yes.
So we'll give you 3 minutes to go back.
I mean, that seems like a copious amount.
The people heard you talking, though.
I don't know. Is that okay with Jabari? 3 minutes?
You're the moderator.
I gotta be honest, man. We're about 600 seconds into his first round, and this shit is awful, bro. This shit is terrible. This is terrible. He's absolutely wrong about absolutely everything. And he's trying to change the direction of the debate. I don't know how much more I can sit through this shit. I got a meatball sub in there that's calling my name, and I just may go and indulge, because I don't know, man. This is, I knew he was full of shit, but god damn, like I just can't, bro. Like I just don't have it in me. But we'll listen to a little bit more, and maybe I'll just fast forward to Jabari's round, but it's not looking good right now.
We're the moderator. Jabari got to be okay with it.
Okay, well, there it is.
3 minutes.
Okay, great. I just wanted to be totally diplomatic on it. So, all right, great. So I haven't started your time back. You're right at about 19 minutes. You're about 20 minutes. So you're going to get an extra 3 minutes. So do you want to try to just move through those slides? It's still on that same screen.
No, I'm good. It's moving now, right?
Great. It is moving now. So I'm going to resume your time. You're at about 20 minutes. Remember, I'm coming in at 25 minutes until you have, well, now I'm not coming in 25 minutes. I'm coming in.
So I got 13 minutes basically right now.
Yes.
Let's see you move it again, Doc. Let's see you move it again. Okay, good. You're good.
13 minutes? He had 10 minutes left, really?
He had 10 minutes left.
Okay.
That's, yeah. So I'll still come in at 25, Enqi. Okay. And you'll know you have an additional 8 minutes. So you're at 20 minutes. Tell me when you're ready to resume your time.
I'm ready.
Okay. Time resumed.
Okay, so what I was saying was that quantum field theory is basically the modern scientific version of what our ancestors laid out. Our ancestors laid out the Kamenu, which is features nun or none, which is the wave, undifferentiated, chaotic infinity. And then from that, you have the first emergence. That emergence then becomes the tomb, and we go on from there. Modern science agrees with that. Modern science agrees with that. The Kamenu describe the parts and interactions of those parts, not chaos, waves of potential.
No, bro, it doesn't. It actually doesn't. It doesn't. Let's just read really quick. Infinity, by definition, means without limit. So a true infinity has no beginning or end. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Infinity, by definition, means without limit. So a true infinity has no beginning or an end. What the fuck is Enqi talking about? You're wrong, bro. You're wrong. You are wrong about everything the fuck you're talking about. And he keeps saying the shit. He keeps saying it.
Not chaos, waves of potential. So I showed who, which is the divine utterance in the Kemetic text, right? We went to the Oxford Dictionary and I showed that utterance.
To utter something is the beginning of that thing. You can't call that thing infinity because that would be the beginning of it. I don't know. I'm getting tired.
The definition of utterance is a spoken word. I went then to the Kemetic text to show that Heru is identified. Heru, a character, is identified with the word, the utterance, right? In the Kemetic text. And I was saying specifically, laying out some of the sources that you've noticed that we've used.
You know, I was gonna interject and say if Heru is identified with the spoken word, then that means Heru would have a beginning. But if you're saying that this shit is infinity, then you would also have to say that Heru always fucking existed, which that is not something he's saying, because he's saying that Heru is the utterance, which means it has a beginning. This is dumb on every level.
Use TLA. We're going to the Kemetic text. We're showing you things. First primary source. Again, we have utterance. Now we go to the etymology of the word. And when we go to the etymology of the word, you can read here. It says the meaning promised was in Old English, as was the theological sense of Holy Scriptures, God's message, and Christian doctrine. So when we go to the Christian doctrine and we see the word used, especially in the creative sense, it is talking about utterance. So here we have utterance. Here's the etymology telling us this is where Christian theology uses came from. And then we go back to utterance, a spoken word. We go back to the Kemetic text. We have Heru, right? We're moving. Now, standing wave. Again, I want you to understand that when we're talking about the mouth, right? We're talking about the generation of standing waves, which is why Ptah is always referenced with the heart and the tongue, right? I want y'all to get this. So I'm giving y'all the science, but I'm also giving y'all pictures, so hopefully it could jog something in your genetic memory, right? This is what a fundamental standing wave looks like.
Spiritual system of ancient Kemet. In ancient Kemet and Kosh, the Kemetu believed in one creator, the spiritual consciousness of all things.
So Jabari is going to have to debate Mfudishi. Jabari is going to have to debate Theophilo Benga.
Hold on. Didn't he just tell us before he played that this is what a standing wave looks like? He did say that, right? Or am I tripping?
A picture, so hopefully it could jog something in your genetic memory, right? This is what a fundamental standing wave looks like.
Okay, so he said this is what a fundamental standing wave looks like, and this is what he plays.
Spiritual system of ancient Kemet. In ancient Kemet and Kosh, the Kemetu believed in one creator, the spiritual consciousness of all things.
So Jabari is going.
So that's what it looks like. Okay, let's go.
have to debate Mfudishi. Jabari's going to have to debate Theophile Obenga. It's not just me saying these things, right? We have NASA. We have NASA as a source for standing waves at the edge of Earth's magnetic bubble, right? So it's not just me he's going to have to debate, right? We have the sun as a resonant cavity in its plasma vibrating with three-dimensional standing waves as studied in helioseismology. We have electrons. Electrons behave as standing waves when confined to an atom, right? We have the depiction. So I'm giving y'all every source possible to verify that your ancestors were not general when they said the next rule represented energy or forms of energy. They were specific. But today's Kemetic scholars are so caught up in chasing other things, they haven't given you this information. In fact, they don't even recognize the science when it's in front of them. So when you look at the top here, this is a fundamental standing wave. This is a fundamental standing wave. Again, here in the top left corner, a fundamental standing wave, which is what your ancestors were communicating to you. Again, a fundamental standing wave. Key points about waves in the sun. The sun's interior is constantly in motion due to convection, which generates acoustic waves. These waves bounce back and forth, creating three-dimensional standing wave patterns.
All right, man. That's it, man. I'm sorry. That is it. That is it. I've went through 55 minutes and 36 seconds of this trash. I can't do anymore. This is a 6-hour debate. Ain't no fucking way I'm gonna make it through this shit, bro. I'm gonna keep it a whole buck. I can't do it. I can't continue just to debunk every goddamn slide. This just makes no sense. I'm not doing it. I thought, maybe there would be some kind of entertainment factor that would be there. The car accident. I'm sorry. Like I said, I never saw this before. So I thought there was something here that could, remotely be considered edutainment, but I can't do it, bro. If I was watching this shit, if I was watching this, I would have turned this shit off and probably start playing a video game or something. I couldn't do it. I don't know how the fuck niggas paid $30 to watch this shit. I don't know how y'all did it and stayed awake, because I'm falling asleep listening to this shit. Real talk. I'm falling asleep listening to it. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I thought I had the energy to listen to it. I can't do it. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. Yeah, we'll cover something else next time. I'm sorry. It is a little late or whatever. So I was like, yeah, let's watch this, and I ain't got it, bro. I'm about to take my fucking ass to bed, put on a movie or something, and shut it down. I can't do this, bro. I can't do it. I'm sorry. I humbly apologize. Humbly, I apologize. But thank you so much for tuning in. Maybe next time we'll probably cover something a bit more interesting. This is just fucking hot garbage. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you guys. Until next time, it's your brother Outside the Cube. Peace. We out. I can't.